One of the things that the Rav really, for years now, has publicized in the world is the fact that on this Shabbat, there is an opening of healing. And we know the greater our understanding of how that works and why it works, the more of that light that we can draw for ourselves and for the world. There's a verse that appears on this Shabbat. It says, Kol ha-machala asher samti b'mitzrayim lo osim alecha. All the sicknesses that you have seen in Egypt, all the sicknesses of this world, you will not come upon you, will not befall you. Ki ani Hashem rofecha. Because I, the Creator, am your healer. Two parts of this verse. You will not be sick, it says. Kol ha-machala asher samti b'mitzrayim lo osim alecha. You will not be sick, the Torah says, the Creator promises. Ki ani Hashem rofecha. Because I, the Creator, am your healer. And the Kabbalists ask, those two parts of that verse seem to be contradictory. If you will never be sick, why do you need the Creator to be your healer? If you will need the Creator to be your healer, that means you've gotten sick. How do we make sense of this verse? All the sicknesses that you've seen in Egypt will not befall you. Ki ani Hashem rofecha, because I, the Creator, am your healer. If you're not sick, you don't need a healer. If you need a healer, you're sick. So the Kabbalists explain, and this is something, the Kabbalists have been writing this for thousands of years, but medicine today backs this up as well, and science today backs this up. We know that sicknesses do not begin when they're known. Sickness, disease does not begin when it becomes seen by the doctor or the individual. There are some sicknesses, some illnesses, that are literally in a person's DNA. From the moment he's born, chas v'shalom, there is within his DNA a beginning of potential for that disease. Many of you know, I think, one of the founders of Google, for instance, he saw in his DNA that he has the possibility to have Parkinson's disease, so he's spending a lot of his money to find a cure for Parkinson's before it even comes to him. So this is true both scientifically and Kabbalistically. When a person is born, in his DNA, there is the possibility, there is imprinted certain diseases that that person might have. And even, chas v'shalom, when a disease begins to become manifest in the body, it is usually unseen or undetected in the beginning. And then later on, sometimes too late, it is found. So there are diseases that most people walk around with that are either in their DNA or in their beginning stages that nobody, not even the doctors, can see. But the Kabbalists teach that so therefore at that moment in time, we also know that it is the easiest to cure a disease, before it started certainly, but at the early stages definitely. Whereas if a person, chas v'shalom, discovers the disease or allows the disease to progress much more, it is much more difficult and sometimes, as we know, chas v'shalom, impossible to cure. So there's this paradox. At the time that it is most curable, nobody knows about it. At the time that most people find out about some of the diseases, it is incurable. And therefore the Kabbalists teach, when a disease is in its either DNA stages where it hasn't even begun to manifest, or it's in its early stages, when at that time no doctor knows about it, but only the Creator knows about it. And at that time it is the most curable. That is one of the gifts of this Shabbat. We ask the question, it says in the verse, Kol ha-machala asher samti b'mitzrayim lo osim alecha. All the diseases that were in Egypt you will not befall you. Ki ani Hashem rofecha, because I, the Creator, am your healer. And we said, if you're becoming ill, then you have a disease. The first part of the verse is wrong, and if you need the Creator's healing. If the Creator is a healer, then chas v'shalom, you have had the disease. And the answer is that there is a time when you are not yet sick, but the Creator can be your healer. And that is one of the great gifts of this Shabbat. And the Kabbalists teach, because Some of us might have of this in our DNA. Some of us might have things in their early stages. On this Shabbat, and the Kabbalists even teach that even through if we have this prayer, this consciousness, this meditation on this Shabbat, even the water, even the bread that we eat on this Shabbat can help heal at its seed, in the DNA or at its early stages. And I'll read just from the Kabbalists. They say, "Be'et shehu nistar me'ein ha'adam," when the sickness is hidden from all people. "Me'achar she'ein tzarich le'refuato klal," because it's not yet the disease. "Refuato al yedei lechem v'mayim." You can heal it when you ask the Creator. You say, on this Shabbat, in the water that I drink, in the bread that I eat, in the prayers that I say, in the connections that I make, heal what hasn't manifested yet. Heal the DNA, heal the things that maybe have begun but I don't know yet. And that is why Kol HaMachala Asher Samti BeMitzrayim, one of the great gifts of the Shabbat, all the diseases that you have seen in Egypt, all the diseases of this world will not manifest. Why? Ki ani Hashem Rofecha, because I, the Creator, am your healer and can heal it when nobody knows about it yet. And therefore the second and great gift that is available for us on this Shabbat, to ask for every single one of us, as we make this connection, as we go to the meals on this Shabbat, we ask, Kol HaMachala Asher Samti BeMitzrayim Lo Asim Alecha, let no disease, even if it's in our DNA, even if it's in its early stages where nobody can see it yet, let it be healed by the Creator, because in these moments, at this time, it is the easiest to heal it. Ki ani Hashem Rofecha. We ask for the assistance from the light of the Creator to heal those that we don't see. And as the Kabbalists say, with the light of the Shabbat, even in the water and the bread that we eat on the Shabbat, it can be healed. A tremendous gift for those of us who desire it, for those of us who ask for it on this Shabbat. When Avraham circumcised himself, we know that on the third day of circumcision, certainly as Abraham circumcised himself and later in life, it can be dangerous, it can be difficult. On the third day of the circumcision, it says, Vayera elav Hashem. The Creator reveals himself to Abraham. And the Ramban, the great Kabbalist, Nachmanides, explains that this revelation, sometimes we know with the patriarchs, with Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, with Moses, the Creator reveals himself to teach, to command, to say something. This revelation to Abraham was not to tell him anything. It simply was the fact that Abraham had given up of himself so much, that the Creator simply revealed His great light to Abraham, because he had elevated himself so much. And the Ramban, Nachmanides, writes, this revelation of the light of the Creator to Abraham on the third day of the circumcision, where it says, Vayera elav Hashem, the light of the Creator is revealed to Abraham, was not coming again to command him, to tell him anything, to teach him anything, but simply to reveal the totality of the light of the Creator to him, because he had earned it, because he had revealed it. Because of their work, they had merited the revelation of the light of the Creator. And he says, just as what occurred to Abraham on the third day of his circumcision, where the light of the Creator was simply revealed in its totality to him, so too, Be'ordei Hayam, on this Shabbat, to the Israelites in the desert, it says, Ze Eli ve'anveu. The Israelites had a clear vision. It says, this is the Creator. The totality, the completeness of the light of the Creator was revealed to them. The lowest person, the lowest soul, during the time of the splitting of the sea, saw and was revealed to them the totality. And this occurs again every Shabbat Beshalach, on this Shabbat. The totality of the light of the Creator was revealed, even to the lowest soul. That is available for us on this Shabbat. The totality, the completeness of the light of the Creator. And what happens? The Ramban, the great Kabbalist Nachmanides, says, Shehaya lo to Abraham, b'mar'ei hashchina ripui lemachalat hamila. Abraham became healed when the totality of the light of the Creator was revealed to him. It wasn't that the Creator came to Abraham to heal him, but simply when that much light, when that complete light of the Creator is revealed to anybody, as was revealed to Abraham here on the third day, as was revealed to the Israelites on this Shabbat in Beshalach, then it brings healing with it. Ki chen ra'ui lihiyot. The Ramban writes, because that's the way it has to be. And he brings a verse from Mishlei, from Proverbs, that we should all keep in our consciousness this entire Shabbat. Be'or pnei melech chayim. When the countenance, when the totality of the light of the Creator is revealed, there is life. Be'or pnei melech chayim. When the totality of the light of the Creator is revealed, there is life. And that is a great gift of this Shabbat. We know, as the Kabbalists teach, whatever occurs on this Shabbat, those channels, that light is reawakened every Shabbat that we read that reading. On this reading, on this Shabbat, we read, Ze Eli ve'anveu. The Israelites had the complete revelation of the light of the Creator. And the Ramban, Nachmanides, reveals to us what happens on this Shabbat, if and when we connect to the totality of that revelation. Be'or pnei melech chayim. When the countenance, when the totality of the light of the Creator is revealed, there is life. Abraham was healed not because he asked for healing or because the Creator wanted to heal him, but that's the way, kach ra'ui lihiyot, as the Ramban writes. That's the way it has to be. When the totality of the light of the Creator is revealed, be'or pnei melech chayim. The complete light of the Creator is revealed, there is life, there is healing. And that again awakens within us an appreciation, as we said, two levels of healing. One at its seed, in its DNA, in its beginning, where it's easier, and as the Kabbalists teach, even in the food and the water, simple prayers, asking the Creator to heal. But there's an even greater level, even things that are manifest. If we are able to connect completely to the light that is awakened on this Shabbat, as was awakened then thousands of years ago, Be'or pnei melech chayim. In the countenance and the complete revelation of the light of the Creator, there is life. And I would like to end with two sections, one from the Zohar and one from a commentary on the Zohar. Because the light that is available for us on this Shabbat is something that most of us, unfortunately, are not ready for. And the only way we can begin to be ready, the only way we can open ourselves up, create our vessel, as the Kabbalists refer to it, to receive the light of the Shabbat, is by having a greater appreciation. So I'd like to share a section from the Zohar in this week's portion that speaks about what happened. And we know again what happened then is what happens now. These channels are open for us to connect to them. The Zohar says, at the time of the spinning of the sea, Beishata, and as we say these words, we know the Kabbalists teach the words of the Zohar enables us to awaken this light. At that time, at this time, Itgale Atika Kadisha, the completeness of the level that is called Atika Kadisha, the totality of the light of the Creator, was revealed and is revealed. V'yishtakach ra'ava bechulu almin ilayin, and the desire to fill every need, to fill every lack, was awakened in the supernal worlds. Kedein den nihiru dechola itnahir. Everything was filled with light. And again, we read these words, Beishata itgale atika kadisha. At that time, and at this time, the totality of the light of the Creator was revealed, what is called atika kadisha. V'yishtaka rava bechulu almin. And there is a desire awakened then and now in all the worlds to fill every need, to fill every lack. Kedei nehiru dechola itnahir. And then everything becomes filled with light. These are the gates that are open to us on this Shabbat. One of the great Kabbalists, in his commentary on this section of the Zohar, writes, Niftach az b'kriyat Yam Suf, hayeshua ledorot olam. Then, at the spinning of the sea, was awakened to open all the gates, all the Yeshua, all the assistance that we need forever. Hein la'rabim, hein la'yachid, both for the congregation, for everybody, and also for the individual. Kol echad, every single person. Hagam im yisatmu v'yisagru sha'arei hashefa. Even if throughout the year the gates are closed, even if throughout the year, if it's for sustenance, if it's for healing, if it's for relationships, any lack that a person has, even if throughout the year the gates are closed, as nevakesh al et ratzon haniftach be'et kriyat yam suf. We can open them up because, as the Zohar says, at this time there is the opening of the gates of et ratzon, a time of a willing desire to fill every need. Keshem sheniftach az sinor haratzon, just like then the gates and channels for the desire to fill every need were awakened, so too niglau te'arat atika. So too in this time those gates are open. Again, as the Kabbalists teach, even if throughout the year the gates are closed, for any individual, for any need, at this time, on this Shabbat, just like then, the Zohar reveals to us the light of Atika, the ultimate complete light of the Creator was revealed, so to every Shabbat Beshalach there is the ability, because the gates are open. How much every one of us will connect to, that's up to us. That's up to our desire, that's up to our connection. But the gates are completely opened. And as the Kabbalists say, even if throughout the year a person has come to closed gates, unable to open up assistance and blessings, on this Shabbat, the gates are completely opened. Just as then, so now. It's a time of et ratzon, a time of desire from the supernal worlds to bestow, to open for all of us the gates. And then, as the Zohar says, light shines everywhere on the Shabbat. May we all, to whatever degree we prepare ourselves, be able to receive the totality, the completeness of the opening of the gates of the light that is available for us on this Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. One of the things that really before the Rav started talking about it, Beshalach was not necessarily known as the Shabbat of healing. And I want to deepen our understanding of really a great secret light that is available on this Shabbat for all of us. The Kabbalists teach, and the Kabbalists taught this for thousands of years, but it's now also proven by science, that when it comes to sickness, chas v'shalom, the reality is that there are, as the Kabbalists say, two types of sicknesses, and they're probably very much related. The Kabbalists teach that when a person is born, in their DNA, as we know today, there's already a possibility of sickness. Some of us know the story. This is one of the founders of Google, a very wealthy man, saw in his DNA that he could develop Parkinson's, so he's investing a tremendous amount of money to find a cure for Parkinson's before he even becomes sick. But that's the reality, and science affirms this, that from the moment a person is born, in his DNA, there is the possibility of certain diseases. There are also diseases that, and this is even more common, where they begin to develop, and when they begin to develop, nobody sees them, of course, and then chas v'shalom, as time goes on and it gets worse, then some of the symptoms, or then it becomes discovered. And we know, unfortunately, the further along some diseases are, or all diseases are, the more difficult it is to heal them. I'll read a little bit from the words of the Kabbalists. There are some sicknesses that are inborn. As the second a person is born, he has the proclivity, the possibility of chas v'shalom having that disease. And they are only found much later in life, chas v'shalom. And even sometimes when the disease begins, it is hidden from most people. And most people don't even know, chas v'shalom, if they're sick, if they're ill. And then it's only later on, chas v'shalom, when it's more developed, do the symptoms come about, or is it found? We also know when it comes to healing, sometimes there are sicknesses that can be healed with one medication, sometimes there are sicknesses that need a combination of medications, and then chas v'shalom, and there are some sicknesses that no healing, chas v'shalom, that exists in the medical world at least. But the reality is, in all diseases, if you were able to tackle it in its first seed, before it even begins to grow, it would be easy to heal it. But unfortunately, at that point, it's hidden from everybody. And only the Creator knows about that sickness then. So that's the paradox. When it's easier to heal, it's unknown. Only the Creator knows about it. When it's more difficult to heal, then it becomes known. But there's a way. This is one of the tremendous, exciting, powerful gifts that we have to share with everybody we know about this Shabbat. Kabbalists explain. There's a very interesting verse in this week's portion. The Creator says, "Kol ha'machala asher samti b'Mitzrayim lo osim alecha." All the sicknesses that existed in Egypt, all the sicknesses of this world, I will not put upon you. Ki ani Hashem rofecha, because I, the Creator, am your healer. Those two sections of that verse are seemingly paradoxical. The first part says you will never be sick. The second part says I will heal you. If you're not sick, you don't need a healer. If you need a healer, then you're sick. So how do we understand the secret of this verse? Kol ha'machala asher samti b'Mitzrayim, all the sicknesses that I put upon Egypt, all the sicknesses that exist in this world, lo osim alecha, you will not be stricken with. Ki ani Hashem rofecha, because I, the Creator, am your healer. If the Creator needs to be our healer, that means chas v'shalom, there's something wrong. And if there's never going to be anything wrong, as he seems to promise in the beginning of the verse, why the end of the verse say, I will be your healer? And they explain. When the sickness is hidden, when it's in its root, because it's still even just in the seed, maybe it's still even only the DNA. Then if a person asks the light of the Creator, specifically on this Shabbat, to come in, then a person can heal it if he asks that within the bread, within the challah, within the water that he drinks on this Shabbat, the healing of the light of the Creator comes in to heal what doesn't even exist yet, what only exists in the DNA, what only exists even if chas v'shalom, but it's in its early stages. It's much easier. You don't even need medicine. You can ask that in the water and in the bread on this Shabbat, those potential sicknesses are removed. Through the bread and the water of Pinchas, we can ask, the light of the Creator comes in and heals us of the things that aren't even revealed yet. And that's the secret of the verse. We asked, how does it say, you won't be sick, I won't put the sickness on you because I'm your healer? Because we're talking about removing the sickness that exists, but in potential, either in the DNA or in its beginnings. And we ask, all the sicknesses that have not become manifest, Ani Hashem rofecha, the Creator will heal us. And that is one of the great gifts. You won't get the sickness because you will take care of it when it's only in the DNA. You will take care of it when it's only at its root. But rather you will become healed when it's only beginning it's in the DNA, or only beginning to occur. So one of the first understandings of the power of this Shabbat is for all of us. Bezat Hashem, all of us, most of us don't have any manifested sicknesses, or certainly those who we do will talk about as well. But we have the ability on this Shabbat, by asking for the Creator, because this is that secret of the verse. All the things that are chas v'shalom in our DNA, all the things that are chas v'shalom in potential, even chas v'shalom things that are starting that we don't even know, through the water and the bread that we eat on this Shabbat, we can ask for the Creator to come in and heal those potential sicknesses. And that's one of the second understanding. But what we ask on this Shabbat, we say again, all those things that are chas v'shalom in potential, all those things that are chas v'shalom in the DNA, we ask and we meditate and we pray that the water that we drink, the food that we eat, specifically the challah that we eat on the Shabbat, be injected with the Creator's healing, so that those Chas v'shalom, sicknesses never manifest. That they never manifest. And that's the secret of the verse. Kol ha'machala asher samti b'mitzrayim lo osim alecha. You will not manifest the sicknesses. Why? Ki ani Hashem rofecha. Because you will ask for and receive, specifically on this Shabbat, the healing to remove them at their core, to remove them at their seed. A tremendous, again, secret revelation that we have to share certainly with ourselves and ask for, but share with everybody that we can. But there's more. Many of us know the story in Vayera. Abraham circumcised. He's older. On the third day of the circumcision, it's the most painful. Vayera elav Hashem. The Creator becomes revealed to Abraham on that day. And we know that he's healed. The great Kabbalist Nachmanides, the Ramban, explains the revelation that occurred, the light of the Creator to Abraham on this day. V'zeh gilui hashchina, referring to the complete revelation of the Shekhinah, the female aspect of the light of the Creator. Mipnei ishtadutam b'mitzvot zachu le'riyat hashchina. The Creator wasn't coming to him to speak to him, to reveal anything to him, to command him to do anything, but simply because he had elevated through his action, he merited the totality of the light of the Creator to be revealed to him. There's a verse in Psalms and Tehillim, Ani betzedek echazeh panecha, I will see your countenance, the light of the complete revelation of the light of the Creator, is be'ab behakitz tmunatecha. Even in my awake state, I'm able to see your vision, receive your light. So, Nachmanides, the Ramban, first tells us that this revelation was not, as often happened, the Creator is revealed to a person to speak to him, to share something with him. It just was that he had elevated to a certain level. He merited the complete revelation of the light of the Creator to him. And he continues. V'haya b'marei hashchina ripui le'machalat hamilah. And Abraham, who was sick at that time, he had the open wound, he became healed right away at that moment. The Creator didn't come to heal him, but simply when the light of the Creator was revealed in its totality, he became healed. Ki ken ra'ui lihiyot, because that's the way it works, he says. As it says, and this is a verse in Proverbs that we should keep in our mind the entire Shabbat, be'or pnei melech chayim. When the countenance, when the light of the Creator is revealed, there is life. Be'or pnei melech chayim. So the second aspect of healing, we spoke about the aspect of healing in its seed. But now the Kabbalists teach us that on this Shabbat we are also, because of the tremendous light that is revealed on this Shabbat, the totality of the light of the Creator that will expand a little bit upon that understanding. But because of that, not because the Creator wants to heal us on this Shabbat, but because the light is so totally revealed in the Shabbat, if and when we connect it, be'or pnei melech chayim. When the totality, the countenance of the light of the Creator is revealed, there is life. There is all healing, and there is complete and total life. There's one section in this week's Zohar, section 180, that again, it's one of those things, as I said, there are different things we want to connect to on the Shabbat, but this is about appreciating the tremendous light that is available. And this is a section of the Zohar, just like that verse I said, Be'or pnei melech chayim, that's a verse we have to keep in our mind this entire Shabbat. This section in the Zohar is also one that we should repeat over and over again on the Shabbat. The Zohar says, the light that was revealed on this Shabbat, the light that was revealed at the splitting of the sea, is a realm that's called Atika, ultimate revelation of the light of the Creator. And the Zohar says in verse 180, and as we say this, we awaken our connection to the great light that is available to us on the Shabbat. Beisha'ata, at that time, and therefore at this time, on this Shabbat again, every Shabbat Beshalach, Itgale Atika Kadisha. The totality of the light of the Creator is revealed. V'yishtakach rava b'chulu almin ilayin. And the desire to fill all needs, all lack, is awakened in the supernal worlds. Kedein then nihiru dechola itnahir. Everything becomes filled with light. Again, these words. Beishata itgali atika kadisha. At that time and in this time, The totality of the supernal light of what's called Atika Kadisha is revealed. And there is a great desire in the upper worlds, in all the worlds, to fill every lack, to fill every need. Everything is filled with light. Every lack, every need, every sickness, every need that a person has will be filled with light. There was a great Kabbalist, Rabbi Tzvi of Zidichov, who in his commentary on the Zohar in this section writes, and this is also a section if we can keep in our mind. He says, Niftach az b'kriyat Yam Suf. At that moment that the miracle of the splitting of the sea was opened, HaYeshua Lidorot Olam. The ability to awaken miracles and all assistance for every generation that follows. Hein lerabim, hein leyachid. Either both for the individual and for the collective. Kol echad, every single person. Hagam imisatmu v'yisagru sha'arei hashefa. Even if a person throughout the year, the doors of sustenance, of assistance, are blocked for him or her, as nevakesh al et ratzon haniftach be'et kriyat Yam Suf. We can ask during this time when there is one of the greatest openings for miracles, for assistance throughout the year. Keshem sheniftach az tzinor haratzon. Just like then, the channel for desire to fulfill all needs was awakened. Lihigalot niglot ha'arat atika. Through the great revelation of the light of the Creator, we can bring assistance to every need. Again, what he's telling us is that even a person who any other time of the year, the gates are closed for healing, for sustenance, for Yeshua, for any type of assistance, on this Shabbat they're opened up. And we have to have this consciousness. Again, Hagam imisatmu v'yisagru sha'arei hashefa. Even if throughout the year these gates are completely closed to this individual, nevertheless, nevakesh al et ratzon, we ask, because on this Shabbat there is an opening of the gates, an opening of desire to fulfill all needs. Keshem sheniftach az tzinor haratzon, just like then the gates were completely open for miracles. Lihigalot niglot ha'arat atika. We ask again that the totality of that light is revealed, and any lack, any need that we know of, that we don't know of for ourselves or for others becomes revealed. And I just want to read this section in the Zohar again, and I hope we all read the section over and over again because we have to understand that most of us are going to receive not all the light that is available. We have to work, awaken, use the tools that we have to maximize the gates that are open to us, to connect to the gates that are open to us on the Shabbat. Again, this section of the Zohar, Beishata, during this Shabbat, is Gali Atika Kadisha, the supernal light in its totality is revealed. And there is tremendous desire in all the supernal worlds to fulfill every lack, every need, every desire, every true desire. Kedain then nihiru dechola itnahir. Light shines everywhere. The O Pnei Melech Hayim, in the totality of the light of the Creator is revealed, there is life. There is complete and total life. Again, a tremendous Shabbat with an endless amount of lessons, understandings, but more importantly, the gates are so wide open on the Shabbat. May we all merit in a greater and greater degrees to receive from the tremendous light that is available for us. Shabbat Shalom.